guys, thanks for joining us. So as we discussed in the last video, we are now going to take you through what you would do in a situation when you were consulting with your client prior to makeup application. So I have the gorgeous Jessie. She looks a little bit different from the other videos. She's still beautiful though.
No makeup.
But so the first thing we always ask in the consultation period is, what are your concerns about your skin? Yeah. I can look at Jess and I can tell her what she should be concerned about, but her concerns might be a little bit different to the things that I flag straight away in my mind. So Jess, what are you concerned about as far as your skin care goes?
I think like I feel like I have combination skin, but I could be wrong. But I know like with my skin, with skincare products and foundation, like I feel like I need things that have hydration in them. I can't wear anything that's like super active, that has like heaps of ingredients that are like too
active.
Yeah.
Your skin reacts.
Yeah, it reacts. So I try to keep things like simple, like I use like serums, like lightweight moisturizers when I'm doing makeup, perfect. But then like more concentrated ones at night.
Perfect, absolutely perfect.
But yeah, and I just try to use lightweight products and like a layer product, because I feel like my skin's thin. And I feel like if I put too much like heavy products on my skin, whether it's like skincare, foundation, whatever, it looks really cakey and gross.
Mm-hmm. So she pretty much nailed it. So, so basically Jess has pretty much flagged all of the characteristics that I have identified in her skin just by using the power of sight. So what we do is we verbal consult, we consult with our vision, and we also do what's called a kinesthetic consultation, which is where we feel the skin. So I can feel that Jess has got really beautiful soft skin. You'll feel things on other people, like what their texture's like, if they're bumpy, if they have breakouts or scarring, or if they have dry patches, etc., etc. So sometimes you may not be able to actually identify them just through the power of sight. You may actually have to be a little bit more tangible and use your powers of touch for those sorts of things.
And what would you do before you touch the face?
Always wash, clean, disinfect and sanitize your hands.
Yes,
always, absolutely, definitely, 100%. That is the precursor to everything. All right, so I can see with Jess, and just basically correlating with the information that she has told me, that she definitely does have a combination skin. Her skin is oily through the T-zone, including this area here as well. And I can actually see that it is oily in that area because she has open pores, okay? Her pores, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It just basically means that her skin is more prone to clogging. So she does really have to watch the type of products that she uses. So the fact that she is using products that still hydrate, but that aren't too thick and rich on the skin is absolutely perfect, because we don't want to do anything that is going to perpetuate that ability to be able to clog her skin. The reason Jess's skin feels a little bit thin also has a lot to do with how she was saying that her skin reacts. So even though she does have an oily skin, she is a little bit sensitive as well, which is Jess's skin type would definitely be combination, but she would have a condition of sensitivity. That would actually be her condition, really. So
can we just say something about sensitive skin? Because I feel like these days everyone says, my skin's sensitive.
Yes.
So there's different types of being sensitive. So the type that we're talking about now is that my skin is just more reactive to certain products.
Definitely.
And then there is being sensitive and allergic to specific ingredients that can cause, things that happens like redness and swelling and breakouts like straight away.
Definitely. Yeah. And then you can have sensitive conditions like rosacea and couperose, which is basically where the skin is so thin that there's not a lot of protection as far as the blood vessels go, and the blood vessels burst a lot in the face, and that causes that redness as well. Most important thing when it comes to your skincare is maintaining and using products that are as close to the skin's natural chemical composition as possible.
So when you're feeling someone's skin, so obviously we've talked about my skin type in particular, but for example, if you were like feeling someone's skin, what would kind of differentiate or what were the things that you would look for, say, if they were dry or whatever? Like, you know, how do you press this? Because I know there's like lots of different techniques.
Yep,
so could you maybe just demo for the girls what you would do and what you would maybe see if it was like a different skin type?
Yes, absolutely, for sure. So with an oilier skin, if you ran your hand down their skin, you could look at your fingertip and you would have like a little sheen on your fingertip. Because their pores, oily skin's pores are usually exposed, there's that constant flow of oil. So even if you've just cleansed your skin, it's not going to be too long before you actually get that sheen on the skin as well. With a dehydrated skin, we just sort of lightly pinch the skin and you'll see like a crepiness. With a drier skin, you're going to feel dry patches. Sometimes they're not always visible to the naked eye.
Yeah.
That's why that touch is really, really, really important.
Yes.
With dry skin, you're going to know really that it's dry, not just because of the flakiness, but because you're just not going to see any visible pores whatsoever.
Yeah.
They basically just look like they have no pores at all.
Yeah. And so like obviously with me, like I do makeup, I have skincare knowledge, so I'm probably a little bit more aware of, say, what my skin concerns are, what my skin type is, what kind of products to use.
Yes.
But if you would, and I know this when I do makeup, like when I ask people, you know, talk to me a little bit about what your skin is like, they're like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
So what other kinds of things that maybe you would ask if someone said that they didn't know?
Absolutely. First thing you would ask is, how do you cleanse your skin? I also ask things like, how does your skin feel after you use certain products, don't you?
Yeah.
And another thing I ask is, how does your skin look after you use these products as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the things that I like to ask from like more of like a makeup perspective, because like Kristy, I will ask those kind of skincare questions. But I also ask them, you know, what how their face looks and feels after a day of wearing makeup.
Yes.
Or what their skin looks like when they wear makeup.
Yes.
So, you know, if someone says, you know, oh, it's really good for like the first, like, you know, 8 hours, but then I get a bit shiny towards the end of the day, you can kind of tell that they're not excessively oily.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So you can kind of start to narrow things down that way. Also by asking them what type of makeup they use, like the brands and things like that, because as a makeup artist, you might not know the ingredients to every brand, but I'm sure you guys have a little bit of awareness of like, you know, what products might be a little bit more matte or hydrating or whatever. So if someone tells me they're wearing a foundation that I know is like super dewy and they're like, oh, my makeup comes off after a couple of hours when I wear it,
we know why.
I can either identify that they're either excessively oily, they're not using the right products for their skin type or whatever. So there are other questions that you can ask people if they're unsure about what their skin is like. So it's really just about like kind of investigating with them. And I mean, we talk about investigation and kind of like asking questions and all these things, but it really doesn't have to take an excessive amount of time.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It really is. Like you can do it while you're setting up your kit. And you just have that quick consultation, you know, talk to me a little bit about what your skin is like.
Yeah, and having that elementary knowledge of the skin, just that basic knowledge of the skin and how the skin works and what the skin is made of.
Yeah.
It's really very simple.
Yeah.
And it can help you to be able to identify.
And I think too, like, if someone has a skin concern, like probably the biggest one that someone says to me is like, I have really large pores. So just from that, you can gauge what their skin is like. So even if they don't know, they will be able to give you information, or you'll be able to visually see it or feel or touch to be able to identify. And I think so often, you know, as a makeup artist, we sometimes, you know, we're in a hurry or in a rush, or we probably more consumed about making sure that the foundation and the eyes and the lips and everything looks really beautiful and the person looks and feels amazing.
Yeah.
But the thing that will separate you from other makeup artists is having an understanding of how the makeup is actually going to wear. Because you can do a beautiful makeup application and it can look good for a couple of hours.
And that's it.
But if it doesn't last through the night, I mean, you know, obviously
longevity
is really important to clients, and that's why half the time they get their makeup done by professionals, because when they do it, it doesn't last that long. And that knowledge is what is going to separate you from other people or other makeup artists, or, you know, anyone in the industry that potentially is not kind of asking those types of things.
Definitely.
So I mean, we really wanted to kind of do these videos just to give you like a little bit more knowledge about different skin types and skin conditions and a bit more product information. And we really hope that this helps kind of like support your journey, whether you've like graduated from us, whether, you know, you're going to start an AMA soon, or, you know, whether you're a past student, whatever it is, or a current student even. So, I mean, please like sound off in like the comment section below. Like if you have any questions about, you know, skincare advice, we can definitely like, you know, create more videos based on things like that, or even like product choice, makeup application choices and things like that, or anything that's maybe not even related to what we're talking about. If you have any questions about anything else, because obviously we love to create content that's going to, you know, support you through your journey. So we hope that you got a lot out of these videos. And thanks, Kristy, for coming along and joining us on our little video adventure.
It's my pleasure.
Bye, guys.
Bye.